So we're going to be back at it. We're going to be doing another one of our Tuesday tutorials. We're going to be going into my drawers really quickly and picking out what we're going to go with. So for today, let's start off. I just reorganized everything, so it's all new to me on where everything's at. But lipsticks, what do we want to do? I kind of want to do liquid lipstick because I feel like I've been doing lipsticks a lot. Let's do something nude and maybe something red just in case. So for red, we're going to go in with my favorite. This is the Real Red by Pixie, but then I want to pick out a nude just in case too. What about this Anastasia liquid lipstick? I know it's new, but this is in Crush. But it's been a while since I've used an Anastasia formula. Actually, let's do this one, the Tarte Lip Paint. Oh, primer. Here we go. All right, so for primer, we're going to be using Throwback stuff. COVERGIRL, mattifying. Let's see. What do we want to use? You know what? Let's do this. The COVERGIRL True Blend. This is a pore minimizer. It doesn't really do the best with pores, but I definitely find it to work really well for like all over hydration. So we'll grab that one. Next up we have is setting spray. Let's lock it in with that. The Joa Selfie Ready. Loose powders. Okay, so for loose powders, what are we gonna do? Loose powder, let's take the full spectrum COVERGIRL powder and let's do, oh, I gotta finish this up. Little baby Hourglass. This is the Hourglass Translucent Veil Setting Powder. I don't have very much left because I've been using a lot of it because I really like it, so we'll use that. Next up we have is bronzer. Let's use this one. I freaking love this bronzer. Let's use it. It's the GIGI Gorgeous. It's the one that came with our Ipsy bags. This is bronzer palettes. Blush. Ooh. Blush. What do we want to do for blush? I kind of want to do a blush palette, y'all. A blush palette. Let's take maybe the OVERLUST palette. And highlighters. Okay. So highlighter is something that I definitely have to declutter at some point, but for right now, we need to pick one. And I'm kind of leaning towards this palette. Where is it? It's a palette. All right, so these are my palettes, and I'm leaning towards doing JACLYN Hill. Only because I've seen this over and over, and I'm just like, man, I gotta use it. So they're finishing off with palettes. Our first week, we did something that was, I believe, we didn't do drugstore, but I believe we started out with this here, which was like my first shadow. Then we moved into this one and we did a look in here and we used the Norvina palette. So that was last week's. Now this week we have to move down into here. So this here's kind of like a mishmash of palettes that I have. It's really just a real wide array. So we've got like Dragon Beauty, we've got some Beauty Bakery, Huda Beauty, OFRA, we've got a bunch of the Alter Ego palettes, L'Oreal, Take Me to Brazil, City Limits, Kat Von D, The Bomb. I'm thinking I want to do Huda Beauty, only because I haven't played around with the Huda Beauty palette in a really long time, and I was thinking about using this palette. I was thinking about it because I was like, man, when's the last time I used it? So either this one, or maybe one of the smaller ones, like the Ruby Obsessions. I haven't played with this one. Maybe we should do this one. Let's take them both, just in case I need a little bit of love there. Where do we begin, you guys? I've got the kiddos here. One's doing homework upstairs, one's doing homework right here. So you guys just saw me pick out all of my makeup that I have here for our Throwback Tuesday tutorial. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. We're gonna be creating a look using all of this stuff. I think the plan is to do my eye makeup first. I have this like nice ass pimple right here. I think my plan is to do my eye makeup first because I don't know exactly what I'm doing today, and from what I recall, Huda Beauty shadows tend to have a little bit of fallout. So let's do the eye makeup first and then we'll move into the rest of the face. I think I'm gonna do my brows off camera really quickly and then we'll come back and do it together. I kind of thought it'd be really pretty to take like this color or even these two and kind of blow it out all over the eye, maybe this right in the center. So we're gonna start off with this shade here. I wanna do it rounded also. So I'm gonna start popping it right in the crease. I'm kind of just packing it on before I blend anything out. And this is actually a brush that we got from Ipsy. It was part of their Tetris collection. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this lightest shade. It's kind of like a light peach shade. And I'm going to take that and blend out the edges. And this is a Luxie 205. I'm going to keep it pretty easy for you guys so you guys are able to create this look. I wanted to do like a cut crease or something crazy, but I'm like, the whole point of this tutorial is that you guys can grab your makeup and follow along. I mean, I guess I could. It's not like I'm going anywhere that doesn't allow me to wear it. As you can see, I'm taking it pretty high, almost up to like the brow bone. It's okay because you're going to go back in anyways and clean it up with a little bit of a lighter color, like a highlighting color. So I'm going to go back in with this pinker toned shade here and pack it on a little bit more so it's really pink. Maybe clean up my brows a little bit. Realize how bad they were stuff. Oh my gosh, you guys. You guys would be so embarrassed if you saw how bad my eyebrows were. This is a Dominique Cosmetics brush. This is the Crease Blur. We're going to take a little bit of this shade, maybe mixing it also with this pinker tone shade, just so it's not super crazy. A combination of these two. And you're just going to follow the hollows of your crease. And as I follow the hollows of my crease, I do like to look forward so I can really make sure that I know where I'm going. And because I feel like when you close your eyes, you get a skewed idea of where your crease is. So keeping your eyes open and trying to keep them as, you know, straight as possible helps a lot. But sometimes I also find that right here, I have a little bit more fine lines. So right in this inner corner part, I kind of have to tilt my head back just to make sure that, you know, I'm getting all up in those creases. We are going to be taking our finger, which is the best tool, and I'm actually going to take my finger and I'm just going to pop this shade right all over the lid. I am going to be using a little bit of setting spray today to do it, just to really get a grasp of it. All right, now that we have that color on, I definitely want to make it a little bit brighter right in the center. So I'm going to take the color right next to it and just pop it right on. Now I'm just going to go back in and start deepening up the crease a little bit more. Kind of get everything blended in there. Oh my gosh, there's quite a bit of fallout right here. Can you see that? And I went ahead and I just popped on some lashes, and we're going to move into the face. So my face is super oily today because it's been a few hours since I've done like my skincare. So I'm going to use this. I didn't think this was going to come into handy, but it actually is. This is that Fenty Beauty blotting sheets that we got. So I'm going to use this and blot my skin with it because it is so oily. Oh, that's so gross. That's so disgusting. Am I that gross? It's like oddly disgusting, but also satisfying at the same time. I'm going to stop using these because I'm like super oily and I want to try these. These are the matte blotting papers from In Studio. They were $1. This is supposed to keep me matte. This is a good look for me. Look at how disgusting this is. I'm definitely going to use this first. This is the Selfie Ready by Huda Beauty because I am definitely oily skinned. So I'm going to apply this first. And this is a matte finish. So this hopefully will help keep in those oils. And then I'm going to go in with this primer. I'm just going to put that all over my skin. Even though it has a purple tinge, I do find that it doesn't like turn me ashy or anything like that, which is also really nice. I'm going to use a little bit of the TATCHA Silk Canvas Primer, and I'm going to put that right here in the pore area. I've noticed that I don't like using pore fillers around my nose. I might be late to the game on this, but look at, like, can you see the difference there versus there? So I know that I pulled out the Huda Beauty foundation, but I'm actually going to toss this because I'm smelling it and it doesn't smell right. So I'm not even going to attempt it. I'm just going to pass it along and just put it in the empties bin. So I'm going to pull out this, which is the L'Oreal Infallible True Blend, and I'm going to take this instead of its place. I'm going to be also using this new Beauty Bakery sponge. I talked about this in another video.
which will be coming up after this video. But this is from my collective haul, and we're gonna go ahead and use this. So I'm gonna go ahead and, the kids are just running around, so I apologize for hearing background noise. I'm gonna go ahead and wet my sponge really quick. I used this sponge in my video that'll be posted after this. It is the look that I did using my, it's the look that I was wearing in my Ipsy unboxing. And I really like this sponge. I think it works very, very, very comparable. How many varies can I say? It's like the fine medium between the Beauty Blender and then the Real Technique sponge. It's a really great sponge though. Why is this so pale? I didn't pick out a concealer, so I'm just gonna go in with the Conceal and Hydrate by Revolution Makeup. And I use this shade C6. Let's talk about what we're watching. Here's the deal. I'm like super into rom-coms and like cheesy teenage movies. So if you guys know of any movies that are like that, hit me up. We finished Tiger King. I watched all of the 90 Day Fiancés, 90 Days After Fiancé, or 90 Days After, and the Before 90 Days, and then I watched all the Married at First Sights that I needed to catch up on. So we just started Ozarks. We're only on like episode 3 because my husband's still working. So far it's like good. It's not like incredibly crazy, like it's not making me want to binge watch it yet, but I've been told that like the first season it's kind of like a slow going, and then the next like 2 seasons are like crazy fun. So I'm gonna set everything using the Hourglass Veil setting powder. I have a feeling Sephora's gonna throw out more sales here soon because of what's going on. They'd be crazy not to, right? Like, let's be honest, they would be ridiculous not to. They need to. I think I just used a highlighting brush to highlight underneath my eyes. Crap. So I did pick out the Matte Ambition by CoverGirl. This is an all-day powder foundation. That is what I'm going to be using to set my face. I used light neutral for this, which is FS 105. This powder is good. My only thing with this powder is if you get heavy-handed with this powder, it will cake up really bad and you will look like cake face. It definitely does keep you matte, and it definitely sets your face really well, and like your foundation will stay in place. But I just noticed that like sometimes I get a little heavy-handed with my powders, and when that happens, you can definitely tell with this powder. Clean this stuff. This is gross. How are you not embarrassed to show this? And I'm going to go ahead and just swirl my brush into it and apply it all over the face. To apply it, I'm going to be using the Moda Pro. This is a BMX 130 pointed brush. I have like a few highlighted products that I could tell you hands down I would repurchase from Ipsy that like I can't live without, and this is one of them. I freaking love this bronzer, and I always look at their points system to redeem points, because if I find this, I'm like, I'm getting it. I'm getting a backup. Okay, for blush and highlight, we're going to be going in with the NARS Overlust palette. What I like to do is just run my brush like this, because I love these colors, like all of them. This one's my favorite. At first, I didn't like these blushes because I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to take forever to build up. But the more I worked with them, the more I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, it actually does do a really good job. Like, it really gives a more subtle effect. So we're going to go in and move into the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. I want to take this palette because I really want some brown tones on my lower lash line. So I'm going to dive into this palette for that. I'm going to take this deep brown shade right here, and I'm going to run it on my lower lash line. So now that I've got that pressed into there, I'm going to take amber and I'm going to dive that into the lower lash line to blend it out. Let's take a little bit more of that OUD and run it up against it to really make sure it's like nice and dark. I'm going to take the mascara. It's the BRETMAN Rock and Wet n Wild collab, and I'm going to use that to do my lower lashes. I really love this mascara. I think I've raved about it a few times now. It's really good. So while I let my face set with the spray, I did not highlight with the eyeshadow palettes because honestly, I don't feel like they have any good like inner corner highlight shades in my opinion. Like they have like the cream shadows, but my thing with like cream shadows like this for an inner corner is I find that they tend to accentuate the darkness in my eyes after a while. So I like something either bright white or more opal. I'm going to take the Rach Loves and Pixie palette, and I'm going to take the shade Lace for my inner corner. This is hands down probably Pixie's best highlighting palette that I've ever came across. if I had to pick like just a few things from the Pixie collection forever to keep, it would be, this palette would be one of them. I absolutely love this palette. It is so good. If you guys can get your hands on this, you've got to. Like, even if you don't, at first I was like, I'm never going to use it because of these two shades, but just these three alone, you can, oh, it's amazing, you guys. She did such a great job in that club. So now we're going to finish off with highlights. We're going to be highlighting with the BECCA and JACLYN Hill palette. So I just finished off with the liquid lipstick from Madison Miller and OFRA Cosmetics. This is her collab. I just went in with this look because the other one I just was not happy with. Like, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the way that it looked. So we're going to finish off with that. We are done, you guys. This is the look. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's Tuesday throwback tutorials. I'm so glad we started this series on my channel. Give it a thumbs up if you guys have been enjoying this series, and make sure to let me know down below which palette you guys want to see next. And if you guys haven't seen any of the other videos that I did in this series, I will link them down below, but there is a playlist also. This is a new series, so there isn't very many videos, but if you guys are wanting to see any of the newest videos that I threw up, they will be linked down here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I love you so much, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.